Hello, and thank you very much for being with us. Today we will talk a bit more about cybersecurity with our experts. I would like to introduce them a bit. On my left, here's Karol Okoński, Cybersecurity Director at PwC. There is Karolina Czwarno-Kos, Lead Security Officer at BNP Paribas Bank Polska.
Good afternoon.
There is also Polak, Privacy Senior Manager at Splunk, and Iwona Prószyńska, Cybersecurity Communication Specialist at NASK. Welcome.
Hi, hello.
Okay, so I would like to start a bit with a relaxing moment, with a bit of an easy question for the start, because as far as I know, we are heard by not only professionals but also beginners and curious minds when it comes to cybersecurity, especially women. And I would like to ask all of you one simple question, like, what was your aha moment that confirmed that you were in the right field in the cybersecurity? Do you remember something like that?
Yes, definitely. When I started to look for another job, it was outside cybersecurity. And then I realized that I feel so comfortable here. I feel that I have a mission actually in cybersecurity that I don't really want to do anything else. Because in my, let's say, background is pretty diverse. I changed the background in every 5 years. So it was a little bit of finance, a little bit of operations. But the last 8 years is cybersecurity. And I thought that I'm the same person as before, that I need a change. But at crucial moment, I was so stressed that I decided that, no, I still need to be here. I still need to continue with cybersecurity.
So what was so exciting about it?
I think for myself, I'm also responsible for awareness. And cybersecurity or security never ends, actually. And this is a kind of a mission that we need to actually make our surroundings, actually, all the people around us, starting from the kids to seniors, aware what is cybersecurity about and how to actually handle the attacks and how to behave properly. And it's like a mission. Yeah, you need to help people, and we as a women, I think we are quite empathic. And this is really in line with ourselves, let's say, in the end. So I think this is the most crucial. And on the other hand, I love challenges, even though I don't want to change the field. And with cybersecurity, you have to always, you learn all the time. I mean, you learn all the time because there are different regulations, different technology. Now it's AI. Yes, we love AI. I use AI, but I also have to work to defend from AI, cyber attacks based on AI. So it's always something to do. It's always something new. So if you are looking for a job that never ends, and it's always exciting, and there's always something new, that's the right place, actually.
Thank you. Anyone wants to share also? Come on.
I can, yes. I think I would agree. I think in most of the elements that Karolina mentioned, I think the social aspect, yes. So the way that you actually to some extent impact all the major assets or the people within the company with your knowledge, with all the advice that you give or the solutions that you implement. That's one thing. Another thing that I also agree is that makes the job very exciting is this. I mean, the fact that it's really goes across domains. That at this point of time, I think to some extent you really have to at some point of time to be a bit of a lawyer, a bit of a risk manager or IT manager, and then in the end be the one who actually can find the best way to balance also the business needs with the security, because they're still they're usually and by definition in opposition to some extent. So how to make how to strike the best balance is also one of the challenges. But again, gives you the possibility also to talk to people and then to find the best ways that specifically for this either client or in these situations are the best.
Thank you. So when I'm thinking about this, when it comes to technology also, but also cybersecurity and other hard technical things and hard areas, we have a growing need of creating some kind of a space for people who understand technology and have hard engineering skills, but also for these people who can explain this technology and have more of the soft skills. And I have particularly one question to Iwona here, who's sitting down there, about what role do soft skills play in cybersecurity actually, and what's the most unexpected background you've seen in a successful security professional? Because as far as I know, I have a lot of colleagues also that come from various backgrounds, from maybe not computer science or engineering and stuff like that, but I know that those kind of people are also like in need when it comes to creating diverse skills, diverse teams and with diverse skill sets. So can you elaborate a bit on that?
Okay, so let me answer with a question. Do you think does the same person who performs a malicious code analysis have to present the results of this analysis in public? In my opinion, no. And cybersecurity industry, and we all know it, thrives on integrating different skill sets. And we need some technical expertise, we need some legal knowledge, some psychology sometimes, crisis management, risk management. And in fact, we need all those skills to address complex threats we are facing each day. And my opinion is based on what I see each day in our team. I'm working as a part of emergency response teams, one of 3 national CSIRTs. And we have people with different professional backgrounds, with different skills. But when we are facing a challenge, when we are facing a problem, we are able to merge all those skills to find a right solution. And this is all about diversity. We have a guy who previously worked as a biologist, so answering your second question. And we are all ready to handling the incident response. And diversity is important because cybersecurity is diversity. It's so complex that we need soft skills, we need some technical expertise to address it correctly.
Okay, thank you very much. And I was thinking about one thing when you were talking about these diverse skills. Is there any skill that can be achieved without formal education that can help you in cybersecurity?
Creativity, open mind.
So the classic standard.
Yeah,
like, set
I would say that this is the classic set.
Okay.
Working under stress, probably, yeah, because sometimes you have to
we
make
need this
decisions
one
very
also
quickly,
because
and the stakes are high. So
and collaboration, and the need to learn. That's enough, I think.
So we are talking basically about some kind of a hybrid approach, right? When you must have some kind of a technical skills, but also understand human psychology, be a good communicator, be a good problem solver and stuff like that. Okay. So I got a question for Anna, because she's sitting down there silently a bit. I will switch a topic a bit, getting into more details and more context and more like technical knowledge right now. I'm particularly curious, how do you see the intersection of AI and GDPR evolving, particularly regarding the data protection?
That's a very interesting question. So we have the GDPR in place, and it's the General Data Protection Regulation enacted by the EU several years ago. And that's the global gold standard right now. And the reason why it's the gold standard is because it covers a very comprehensive framework, and it's also safeguarding individual rights, and it has also extraterritorial applicability. And so it's this is a regulation that balances innovation and ethical principles. And now with the AI Act, which was enacted this year and will be applicable in phases gradually in the upcoming years. We hope that this AI Act will also be, or may also be, a gold standard globally. So the EU may act as a global leader in digital governance. And there are similarities and also similarities between the GDPR and the AI Act. For example, principles like general principles such as accountability, transparency, they apply to both of these regulations, and also penalties, really high penalties. And also assessments, like the risk management is similar. So we can learn based on the GDPR, but there are also distinctions. So we need to take this into consideration as well.
Thank you. I have a question that may be a bit polarizing when it comes to that, when I'm thinking a lot about the EU AI Act and all of these regulations. And I see a lot of discussions on the market, actually. And I'm curious about your guys' thoughts about this, if you have any. Do European Union shoot itself in the foot when it comes to over-regulating things, or should we be more loose, like in the United States, also when it comes to security and data privacy?
I can start. Yes, this of course, the topic is not an easy one, and I would say, look, the principle that is among all the European acts that is actually risk-based. So in the end, the applicability, the proportions, the measures that you take should actually come from basically your analysis of the threats and corresponding risks. So it does not specifically tell you what to do, but it's more up to you, and the responsibility lies and stays within your as a company. So in principle, you could say, you could argue that following this principle should allow you to make the best decisions, and in the end still remain flexible. So I would say that generally speaking, this principle should, I think, this is basically what is a standard and something like I would say a benefit of the European law. But in the end, it means that there will be companies that treat it directly and try to basically just be compliant and basically treat it as a pure cost and try to make it and introduce those measures in the simplest possible way. And there will be others who will try to use it in more transformational manner to basically find the ways to be able to decrease time to market or to expand your product portfolio. So I think there should be rules that basically give you this kind of a baseline, but then lets you then decide and be flexible in how exactly you implement it. And I think this is what the European acts are like, but then because so much depends on the client and who's actually implementing this, I think the results may also differ very much. So I would say these are the areas that, especially in the sectors of the industry, that are really the currently of the utmost importance. You have to keep this baseline to be able to basically provide to the society what they expect. But then again, it's the challenges around how to do this to not to really kill your business, which can actually happen if you do it not correctly.
I mean, definitely you need to know what is wrong and what is right. And this is why we do regulations. If we do it properly, I don't think so. You know what happens with RODO, with GDPR, yes? Even if you want to buy, 1 kilo of sugar, you need to consent a lot of things, which is incredibly not good, not right. So it's like we are kind of in the conflict, I think. On one hand, we know that we need a regulation, and on the other hand, we are over-regulated somehow, and this is what happened with GDPR. We don't know what's going to be with AI. When it comes to cybersecurity, we do fight a lot with AI, and it's not going to be better in the future, for sure. So we need a kind of, a roadmap, a path to go. But what will happen, we will see actually. And it's not only a problem with regulations, there is a huge problem with actually the practical part of regulation. But even though you know what is wrong and what is right, I mean, lots of advertisement or fake news on Facebook, they are wrong. And can we do anything about it? We have a regulation, but is it working? No, it's not working yet. So it's a long path between having a regulation and actually using the regulation in real life and stopping some entities, some people from doing the bad things which are not actually accepted in line with the regulation.
I was about to ask that about your perspective, actually, what's the most challenging aspect for the financial institutions when it comes to that?
I mean, right now, when I come back in my mind to the reports we receive on a regular basis from our authorities, financial authorities, the most important problem is the fake news, fake advertisement, fake investments. Right now we have Christmas coming, Black Friday is coming. Why not? There is a huge bunch of advertisement who are trying to encourage people to use this one and only chance actually to buy something or to invest in something, and in reality, I mean, they lose money. They are not let's say they're giving away the information, the login, the password, the number of credit cards. So it's really difficult actually to make people be aware and think twice before you actually give away such a data. So that's the biggest challenge. And AI is also used in many other ways of attacks. Right now, unfortunately, we are in a moment of conflict around the world, and Poland is one of the most attacked country, unfortunately, when it comes to DDoS attacks, for example. And we actually see that in our statistics. We have to admit that the past was a little bit better for cybersecurity, at least.
So the general thing is that cybersecurity is already hard, and it's always been hard because it's so complex. But I think that when it comes to AI, because that's also a thing that interests me, the amount of threats can be multiplied and scaled enormously when it comes to like fake information, deep fakes, other advanced things. And for all of you guys, this is a very simple question from my side, but what's actually the one security habit that everyone should develop? Besides two-factor authentication, of course.
I don't know if there's one.
I know. Yeah, we have multiple layers, right? But
yeah, please go ahead.
Yeah, I will start with a strong password, and by strong, I understand a long one.
Like 15 characters.
Yeah, at least.
Complex.
And then plus two-factor authentication. And when we think about citizens, this is like the first general rule they should think about when they log into their social media, email, or online banking.
And the password and login is for you, not for your wife, not for your kid, not for your friend, not for your guy over the phone. You don't know really. Yes.
And you don't have to change it each month.
Yes. A long one, 15 characters at least, big, small letters, Polish characters, and keep it really secret. And for example, we also advise hygienic life. It's like you have your own private computer, you have your company computer. Your kid should also have a separate computer because kids do not actually read a lot and actually can click on very, very many things we don't want to have at our house.
The separation is important, but we also click on
different things.
Different things.
Yeah, separation definitely.
Yeah, and I think that I would also add to be really like cautious or mindful, basically. So it's especially for to not to be caught in terms of either any phishing or smishing. It's just the way that some simple there are simple ways to let's say filter out most of the abusive content once you basically know those rules. And then you the inflow of fake either messages also or those phishing mails are so big that you basically have to be careful. Of course, there are tools that help you out that basically can filter out some of the content, but in those spear phishing, when you're actually really targeted, it might even come from a legitimate address, and you still have to be critic in terms of what you read and and basically ask your questions how plausible it is, how correct it is, because otherwise you can actually then fell victim to such attack.
Just to add, we are discussing AI threats, but when we see the statistics, more than 90% of all the attacks we see today as one of the 3 national CSIRTs is still phishing. So no those developed threats, but simple, based on emotions sometimes. And this is the most popular one and the most effective one still.
And the attacks happen because there is a human error, not because they are very complicated. This is because we just make the wrong decisions in the end.
The weakest link is always human, right?
Unfortunately, yes.
Yeah, so I was thinking, Iwona, when you were talking about this, like, how do we can make cybersecurity awareness more accessible to non-technical audience? Because we are sitting on the panels, we are talking about things, we are diving deep into expertise, and it's all very interesting. But it often comes down to our parents, to our children and stuff like that. Is it a systemic problem or something else when it comes to like awareness of the cybersecurity issues, especially now in this digital world that will be more and more and more complex? And let's be honest, technology is more and more detached from an average human, right? From a non-technical person. So is there any chance that it will change in the future?
We need plain language. I think this is our main problem. When we are discussing cybersecurity topics, we are using this very exclusive language, which is not easy to understand for those who really should think about those phishing attacks, for example. So when we are thinking about awareness campaigns, we should prepare them. And all the time, we should think about those who will get this commercial, who will see this commercial, to make it as accessible as we can. Of course, it's difficult because we have those experts and they are saying that we have to use this professional language, we have to be focused on those technical issues. And of course, that's all correct. But we need to raise the awareness. When we see the numbers, we know that we need to raise the awareness, especially among seniors, among children, because more and more attacks we see more and more attacks when where they are targeted. So.
First of all, you need to define or find a source of information. For example, we can go to BNP Paribas site in Poland and you have whole part about security. Then you have lots of rules. You can actually print it out, you can download it and just use it, first of all. On the other hand, we organize a lot of events, webinars for our customers. We try to also approach the things actually outside banking, which is going to the parents, going to the children, talking to the seniors, and just explain. But the other hand, from the systematic point of view, I also try to talk to our supervisors, like national supervisors, or maybe there is somebody from education, Ministry of Education over here online. We need to do something with schools. I mean, I have kids, 11 and 9 years old, and I see that they are wonderful with Microsoft Office. They really have all the tooling and they do presentations like this. But there is no cybersecurity part in that. And it would be really enough to prepare a material, I don't know, maybe a few materials online, available to the teachers. Just download it or just turn it on at school and try to actually explain it to the kid, or maybe it can be explained during the course. And this is really enough because kids are really open to a new knowledge. They want to be close to technology, and they want to know how to use it actually securely. And on the other hand, they're really sometimes not careful, and they really trust, people over the phone or in the internet. And we explain to our children that, okay, when you cross the road, you have to, turn right, turn left, turn right, etc. But we give them telephone and just, use it, yes? We do not explain that this can be also dangerous sometimes, yeah?
We need, I think, because this kind of lessons we already have. So you can use them.
We don't have it at school.
Yeah.
We do it separately. When, for example, BNP goes to school, I mean, this school there are some schools that actually take part in such initiatives, but I think we need a standard around Poland, like in every village, in every big city, in every school, they're gonna be the same material, like in Microsoft Offices everywhere, yes?
Yeah, because they have the materials, but there has to be one teacher who is ready to present this topic to the students.
That's why I'm thinking about something which is actually available.
So one lesson is not enough.
Yeah.
So I think that, like other countries, we should think about education in not only cybersecurity, but also disinformation is the topic which is really important, and it's difficult to deal with it when you are a kid and when you don't know where you should look for information, what kind of sources you should use to verify whether you see the fake news or this is a real information. Yeah.
I would just add one more thing, because from the perspective of I fully agree, and this is true that this material has to be engaging, yes, for the pupils to be really, or maybe some practical, maybe so there's like how it's taught is also important. That's true. And then from the perspective of the companies, I think what definitely usually helps is also not only basically acquiring the knowledge, but also verifying it. So performing all kind of simulation of the tests, either hacker attacks or pen testing applications, or simulating the crisis situation, yes, where actually the people involved can actually sort of act out or basically see them in this situation, and then but still in some kind of laboratory, what might actually be corrected in terms of both procedures and behavior. But nevertheless, I will also assume, and this is I think the paradigm that has to change and has to change in the mind in a given mindset, that each company has to consider the fact that there will be a time that they will have an incident. So they just cannot prevent it from happening, whatever they do, because of all the things we already mentioned so far. There will be a way to break in and basically cause this incident. So then the important thing is to think out and consider what will actually happen when this incident takes place. How do we have the procedures to actually describe it or analyze it, and then later restore, recover, and everything like this, both in terms again of the procedures and of the potential loss that might cause, because then this also can also change the priorities also within the wider, both in terms of educating and building the awareness of the people, but also in terms of some additional investment that may be necessary in the IT environment. Also considering the fact that, and this war was already mentioned, that is happening just next to our border. what we have to consider right now are not only the pure digital risks, but also the physical risks right now. Yes, so it can be also like an arson or of a data center or like some other kind of sabotage that can really dramatically make your systems collapse. And then do you have the plan, an idea what to do in such circumstances? So the surroundings and environment gets more complicated, like you said. But like I said, it's not only preventing, protecting, but also the recovery. There's another field that you have to take into account.
And it's good to mention that right now, according to the statistics, it's around a little bit less than 300 days to find out to a company that it had been attacked in the past. And if you are not attacked personally, your third party can be attacked. So it's really... That's the reality. What can you say?
We see this lack of preparation during the huge incidents, especially those influencing Polish citizens. And this lack of crisis communication is a fact. Yeah. So when we think about cybersecurity, we should also think about risk management, and we should also think about what we will do after. Because this is, and that is why we should have the PR people in our crisis responding teams, because at least they should know how to react and how to prepare a press release that will, for example, explain what actually happened.
So I have two things that comes to my mind right now. First is the simplest one, like people are divided into two groups usually. Those who do backups and those who will start to do backups. And it's good, of course, but
can I just comment on this? Because the backups, of course, is the most principal, the things you have to do. But then you would be surprised how many companies don't actually test if they can really recover from those backups.
I can imagine. And the second thing, Karol, you were talking about it, and I was thinking about it when you were talking, like this kind of awareness that you were talking about requires a lot of maturity when it comes to the company. Not every company has the budget. Not every company is big enough to have like the people who are able to do that, think about it, and like respond to those incidents. But actually, I want to switch a bit right now when it comes to that, because we are diving deep and diving deeper into these topics for the last like 20 minutes. But I would like to focus once more on this simplest thing that I can have here in hand. What advice can you give to women who doubt their ability to succeed in cybersecurity when they hear like complex things like that?
First of all, as you already hear, we are very diversified. And we need people from all different areas. Even the PR and marketing is needed, yes. On the other hand, personally, what I already checked just before our meeting today, around 24% of women of let's say team in cybersecurity are women. So it's not enough. But already 20% are CEOs. So if we are there, we are managing. So that's a good point, actually. And I was surprised about that. But this is what ChatGPT taught me, and it was based on a report, so I think it's correct. But I think for this is male-dominated still. It used to be much more male-dominated in the past. But what I think when I would be asked to advise a young woman to join cybersecurity is that sometimes you just need the courage and need to learn. And cybersecurity is so diverse that on one hand we need different people with different knowledge and soft skills. On the other hand, what we really need is the need to learn and to, like previously was mentioned, shape your future, shape your challenges actually. And I would say this is enough, and this is really what happens in every cybersecurity team. We have very different people with different backgrounds, and when you will find a good team and team that will be ready to mentor you, to coach you, you are there, basically. You can always, I think, contact us via LinkedIn or something like this. We can always talk and give you some hits for the future.
So basically, it comes down, as always, to the imposter syndrome. Okay.
And that's a very exciting area. So you can. So my background, I'm a lawyer. So like almost 10 years ago, I started on the data protection team, and it's not possible to work without cybersecurity knowledge. So that's very fascinating because we are living in an area of a very rapid technological development. So and we need to adapt from all angles. So that's a job where you get excited like almost every day. So
you start the day with a coffee, and then you don't know what's gonna be in the next minute. Yes.
Different professional background definitely bring a fresh perspective to problem solving or strategy development. So be brave, send your CV. You should start, and then we can discuss what we need, what kind of skills you should improve, or maybe you already have to.
So take the courage and do this first step, and like agree with yourself that you are capable enough to do this, right?
Yes, believe in yourself. Yes, that you've got everything you need.
Yeah, I would just also say that I think that the stories that we told here, and we would also expand, but it's not enough time. That's like you can really take different paths. I mean, and you still have to decide. I mean, what would be maybe your main domain, or let's say the background, because it's important, because it can actually make your track really going one under the direction. But the cyber is so immense and so broad, then in the end you can find out that this what will allow you actually to really change topics, yes, and change areas, but still remaining in the cybersecurity. So it makes it, I think, both interesting and challenging, and gives you always the area for your development. So, and like we said, cyber will just remain with us as an important factor of any technology right now. So it'll be definitely, and of course the fact, just purely from the perspective of thinking economically, just the basically much less experts on the market right now than is the demand. So, and I think this gap will grow. So definitely worth to consider, regardless of the sex. That the cyber is one of the top
around
jobs.
4 million is missing, so there is something.
Yeah, you were first to answer, Karol, because I had a question already prepared after I asked. It's fine, it's absolutely fine, but I was curious about from your perspective as a male leader, how can men better support gender diversity in cybersecurity, but not in a way like we were talking about, okay, do this and do that, but like, what is the key area, do you think, first thing that comes to your mind that should be addressed when it comes to that?
Look, I think it's like I say, it's when I recruit someone or when I work with someone, I basically, would like to see, first of all, the capacity, I mean, the competences, yes, the capacity to grow and the motivation, yeah. And of course, I think, and sometimes this additional, I would say, this creativity was mentioned here, and some of the factors that I mentioned, and then, like you say, you work on some topics within the team. So making it or creating the team basically even requires the fact that you have basically the diversity, so different points of view, different backgrounds. So I think that I would say. You should basically make a possibility for everyone to develop both the skills and to advance in the career. And I would really treat here I think because of all the possibilities right now, I would really not try to distinguish between men and women.
Please
here,
don't.
because it's basically, secondary in the fact that. That of course they do bring a bit different mindset, different skills, and that's the wealth of it. So definitely the teams have to have both, and that's one of the factors I also consider. But in the end, both the competences and the passion are the ones that are decisive.
Yeah, my question was not to polarize or divide people into one sex or another. I was just curious about your perspective. And as we have a couple of minutes left, this will be the question that will be for all of you, one by one, but because I'm very, very curious about it. if you could instantly change one thing about the cybersecurity industry, what would it be and why? 1 minute for each other. Tough one.
Not really. I mean, I would go for this education. I think we would have much less work if there was a basic educational scheme for cybersecurity for everyone. I mean, in 10 or 15 years, we would be in a much better position than right now, actually, I think.
I would say there's this idea of being able to certify, for example, the products, whether they're safe or not. I mean, I like the idea, and I like the fact that you could basically see the mark on the product that it's safe. But unfortunately, this is something that probably because of the capacity and the changing of the products, the fact that especially the software needs to be upgraded, it's probably virtually not possible. But then still, being able to keep this baseline of some that would not require anyone to really use their knowledge to verify whether this product is safe or not would be very good. And at least, creating some baselines would still suffice. But but it would be this. Certification
is also a problem in cybersecurity, right? There is a lot of certificates, and you guys probably are tired sometimes about it. Like I can even imagine. Let's go.
Yeah, I hope that maybe we have a really great awareness of data protection and privacy nowadays, and I hope that in future there will be similar awareness, private security awareness and security knowledge. So that would be my wish.
My dream is quite similar because only this year we have 75 million of attempts to enter the phishing websites only in Poland. 75 million. So really, I dream about cyber awareness all over the world, and
you could sleep a lot.
Yeah.
So basically,
what we can add, one thing is to all of you actually, please do talk about incidents, do talk about your strange stories, do talk about fake news, phishing attacks, because the more we talk about it, the more we are aware.
So basically, from all of the answers, it comes down once again to the education.
Unfortunately, yes.
And I think those are a good call about the incidents. In the current regulation and the proposed regulation for the Polish Cybersecurity Act, you actually will not get fined for having an incident. You'll get fined if you don't report it. So it's basically the fact of sharing information about this that allow others to basically learn from this also as important. So in this the spirit of community, that also can help basically others basically prepare better for the future.
So for 2025, one wish will be to close the gap between the professionals and average humans when it comes to cybersecurity and understanding, right?
I mean, you will not close the gap, but we will make it a little bit
bit smaller, right? And thinner. Okay. Okay.
Yeah, be realistic.
I'm trying to, but some kind of...
security never ends. So
security never ends,
right?
Yeah. No. But my questions will end right now because we are finishing this discussion, and I would like to thank you for your expertise and for coming here and sharing all of these things, and hope to see you again. And thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.